What's up, familia? Welcome inside the hotel room. Hope you guys are doing good. Keep it between the lines. Got your load secure. Out here on the road, trucking it up, doing it up, man. And I never really messed with Convoy, but I know somebody who did. I know somebody who did, man. So let's go ahead and bring in the homie, man. You guys can catch him on Vic Med. This guy's a trucking guru. Let's get him in here. What's up, Vic?
What's going on? What's going on, Cholo?
Dog, you know what, man? Chopping it up with you here and there. And, I started messing around with, low boards and everything. And I would see Convoy just about everywhere, man, on all these low boards and everything. And I remember talking with you. You would say, they come out with very cheap rates, but you can, negotiate to I guess, somewhat good price or whatever, man. But talk to us a little bit about Convoy, man, and then we'll get into what happened to them. But how long have you been, getting loads from Convoy?
I think maybe 2 months after they came out, I wasn't really doing their loads because their loads were real low. What I was mainly doing was grabbing their empties. They had empties all over the place, and they would let you use their empties for 3, 4, 5, even 7 days sometimes, as long as you returned it to wherever it needed to be returned to. But the loads that I did book were real short ones, and I tried to squeeze them for every penny that I could. But Convoy was, yeah, it was hard to get a good rate from Convoy. But I got nothing bad to say about Convoy. They they did their thing, and the majority of our local work, they were one of the cheapest brokers to work with. Uh, it was Uber, then Convoy, which were the cheapest ones to work with. And Uber is still cheap to this day. But I mean, I got nothing to say bad to say about Convoy. Convoy, they they helped out the community. That's for sure. They did their
Can
thing.
you can you give us an example on using one of their trailers or one of their empties? I mean, like how many days were you able to get it? Did you have to transfer it to another yard? Did you what how would you come up on one of their empties to use it for your own to book your own loads?
Well, their load boards would always advertise empty moves, or they would say not a load. And once you booked it, you'd get the rate con, and the rate con would say, it's just an empty trailer that we need moved from. The majority ones that we grabbed were from Rialto, and they were going up to Moreno Valley to PNG. And the rate con would say you could use this trailer for 5 days, 7 days, as long as after the 5 or 7 days you return that empty back to where it was supposed to go to. I mean, you would good.
That's a pretty good way, man, to work if you're especially if you're power only from Rialto. Just the example you gave, what was it from Rialto to Moreno Valley? I mean, in reality, Holmes, that that takes you what 30 minutes, to get it from one spot to the other. But they would say, okay, cool, as long as you have it there in 5 days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a piece of cake. I mean, we would grab empties from everywhere. LA, Ontario, Fontana. They had empties everywhere, everywhere. So, I mean, their thing was, as long as you returned it back, you returned it to where it's supposed to go. Wherever they wanted it, at a certain day, it was you could use it for whatever load you wanted. And then, say for instance, you missed, and you got caught up with the load or what have you. All you had to do was just call in and let them know, hey, I can't return this empty because I got stuck with the load, or whatever the reason was. All you had to do was just call in and let them know, and they were cool about it. They were charging, I believe it was like $85 a day after you didn't return it, on the day you were supposed to return it. But we were always good. We always returned it on this. on the day that we said we were going to return it. But it's not only Convoy, Cholo. It's all the brokers, all the big mega companies. They do the
Mm,
same thing. They'll let you borrow their
okay.
trailer, for 2 3 days. Like for instance, Swift and Night, they have a program where you can grab their trailer for 30 days. After the 30 days, this is the only catch. After the 30 days, they might want you to go drop that off in Texas. So if you want to take
Yeah.
this.
How was it easy working with Convoy? I mean, if the rates were low, was it pretty easy to negotiate your rates a little bit higher to where you wanted it? How was it working with Convoy, man? For you personally?
The only bad thing about Convoy is they had uh, people from India always answering the phones. And them
Mm,
guys, their English is, it's messed up, and it's hard to communicate with them. But the app was real easy. It was simple. It was good. That was the only issue, just trying to have some communication with them. It was kind of hard to get somebody from America to answer them phones. But other than that, the app was real easy app. I got nothing bad to say about Convoy. Even the customer service, even though it was to me, if I tell you a number, say for instance the low number, and you reply with can you tell the number again? That
mm,
irritates the crap out of me. But other than that,
right.
I mean Convoy is great.
Yeah, man, and everybody listening, hey, take that how you want to take it, but that's the God honest truth, man. You start dealing with some of these, and it's very broken English, and it's hard, and for the third time, you're like, can you repeat that again? And then you're over the phone, so it's like, everybody take that how you want to take that, man. But there's a lot of truth to that. Um, Vic, did you ever see that Convoy was in trouble? Was there any hints that you got where it's like, you know what? These dudes ain't gonna be around for too much longer.
To me, there was no signs. There was no signs, Cholo, because I mean, I always assumed that they were a trucking company for Procter and Gamble.
Mm,
I don't know if you know who Procter and Gamble is, but Procter and Gamble is the one that does the soaps, dishwashing soaps, body soaps, toilet paper, all the hygienes. They are the guys. And I've always assumed that they were just the trucking company for Procter and Gamble because I mean, you go to Procter and Gamble in Moreno Valley. I mean, that's all there was. It was Schneider, Convoy, and a little bit of Knight and Swift, but the majority was Convoy. So I always thought they were a company for them. So did
okay.
I see any signs that Convoy was going to go down under? I didn't. I didn't. I mean, if you ask other owner operators, when that happened, I received a lot of emails and texts, saying, how could they go down? Their rates were so damn cheap. They had one of the biggest contracts down here in Ontario and Rialto, which was the Niagara account, moving
Mm,
water. And it was it was crazy because they would pay 250 from Rialto, no, 150 from Rialto to Moreno Valley, from Ontario to Moreno Valley, and then anything going down to LA from Rialto or Ontario would be something like $100 more. But there was people that were
oh,
hauling them freaking loads too. So
uh,
these guys were getting at me and saying, "How could they have went under? When the rates were so damn low?" So
yeah,
I had no
yeah,
clue this was gonna happen.
yeah. And as we all know by now, just one day, just out of the blues, they canceled all their loads, and I think it was I don't know. I'm guesstimating here, probably like 20 hours later or something like that. It came out that it's like, hey, they're shutting their doors.
And it
Vic.
and it was funny, Cholo. It was funny because we had two other empties, and on one of the yards that we park, I
Mhm.
think there was, I want to say, three empties there.
Mhm.
So them dudes, they got at my guys and they were like, "What are you guys gonna do with them empties?" And so my guys called me up and they're like, "Hey, boss, what are we gonna do with them empties?" And I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" I knew nothing about Convoy. I went out of business or none of that. And then my drivers told me, "Well, Homeboy's telling me right here that Convoy's done." Like, what?
Yeah.
So I ended up calling in and no, somebody answered, and they were like, "What's your MC?" I gave them my MC. "What trailer do you have?" "I have this one and this one." Uh, "When do you plan on returning it?" Like, returning it? Where am I going to return it? They're like, "Oh, you still have to return it where it's supposed to go." Like, all right, cool. So
Okay. Vic, how has this affected anything, man? I mean, you book loads every day for your drivers, man. You got a fleet of trucks. Has this affected anything, or is it just one's out and another one just steps in, man, and the wheel just keeps turning? Has this affected any way that you book any loads for your drivers?
it's funny because again, Uber Freight is the cheapest broker out there in my
Mhm.
eyes for the work that we do. And I don't touch Uber. I used to mess with the Uber when they first came out. As soon as that happened to Convoy, maybe I say a week after, I get an email from Uber Freight saying, we know what happened to Convoy, but we got 7 of Convoy's contracts. So if you ever want to book any loads, go ahead and go on our load board. Has it affected my way of booking loads for my guys? It hasn't, because again, I only use Convoy for their empties. Um, has the market went up because of all these companies going down, or because of Convoy going down? But I understand it's going to take time. This is going to take time for it to catch up. Shippers are going to have to find brokers that can find trucks to haul these loads. It's not going to happen overnight. Uh,
Mhm.
that was my thing. Okay, Convoy went down, CH Robinson cut down, Merce cut down. All these companies are, shutting doors, and brokers are shutting doors. And I was assuming, okay, the market's going to come up because now we got all these trucks out the way. So now there's going to be more loads on the spot market. But that's not the case because
Yeah.
now I understand. Now I talk to one of our partners that owns a trucking company and a warehouse, and he's the one that explained it to me. It's not that easy to just, okay, I have this freight, I'm going to call this broker to get some trucks to haul it. It doesn't work that way. It takes time for them to sign a contract and get the ball rolling.
Yeah. Man, it's I keep hearing from drivers, man, that it's a very scary time. Some drivers are worried. Vic, are you concerned, man? I mean, you always seem to keep your head above water, man, no matter how bad times get.
I'm not I'm not concerned because, again, and I say it over and over again, don't depend on just one broker, one company. uh you know have a whole bunch of connections. If you have a bunch of connections, uh there's no need to panic. There's no need for shutting doors. It's just the way people think that this broker or this company is going to keep me rolling. I'm going to be loyal to this company, this broker. It doesn't work that way. When the freight is not there, the freight is not there. And guess what? You just got to move on. Right
Hmm.
now, I got my guys doing, I mean, crazy stuff. RXO, Swift, Knight, JB Hunt. Uh, what else do I got? Schneider. Uh, some way out brokers out in Texas, but they're rolling, they're rolling. They're not sitting around and waiting for me to send them a load.
Mm, okay. All right, man. Well, yeah, just wanted you to jump on and talk a little bit about Convoy. They're done, but hey, man, we just keep the wheels rolling, big dog. Any last words, Carnal, before we wrap it up?
Uh, for you owner operators, single owner operators, small fleets like ourselves, uh, don't depend on just one broker, one company. Just move around. Open up some doors for yourself. And right now, it's just a learning experience. It's something that we have to get under our belt because this is going to happen again. And the next time it comes around, we'll know how to deal with it. It's just something that we have to learn how to get overcome. And if you happen to just say, you know what, I'm done. I mean, next time it comes around, I mean, you ain't gonna last long. If you're just waiting for this wave to go away, that's fine. To me, that's fine. If you want to be a company driver right now, go ahead, handle it. But if you're wanting to stick it out, or if you just want to give up, sell your equipment, I think that is the wrong thing to do right now. Keep your head up above water. You'll get there. You'll get there. It's just right now you got to push a little bit more to make the same kind of money that you were making before. The rates, I think we're all hauling not cheap rates, but I mean something to get us by. But we have to do what we have to do right now.
Yeah, man. Stay strong out there on that battlefield, Holmes. As always, familia, live your life like you're on the road. Be aware of your surroundings and always keep a safe distance. Blood makes you relate, but loyalty makes family. Till next time, this is Ed the Trucker for my man, one Mr. Vic Med. Over and out.